Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Do you remember like 3 nights ago when Donald Trump ordered the U.S. to bomb Iran and how very clear he was the U.S. had obliterated Iran's nuclear capabilities? They were gone. They were done. It was over. And then they bombed a U.S. base in Qatar in retaliation, although no one was hurt. And then he announced a ceasefire that would last for eternity. Today, our president screamed obscenities on TV because it didn't last for eternity. It doesn't maybe even exist now? Unclear? Cover your ears because we're also learning that obliterated might not be exactly accurate either. As Trump travels to Europe for a meeting with NATO partners, U.S. officials are telling multiple outlets that according to a new classified report by the Defense Intelligence Agency, those strikes only set Iran's nuclear program back by about 6 months. 6 months. The findings suggest that President Trump's statement that Iran's nuclear facilities were obliterated was overstated. Wait, Trump overstated it? No. In response, White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt said, no, obliterated. The leaking of this alleged assessment is a clear attempt to demean President Trump and discredit the brave fighter pilots who conducted a perfectly executed mission to obliterate Iran's nuclear program. I should here note the mission was run by bomber pilots, not fighter pilots, but I digress. She went on. Everyone knows what happens when you drop 14 30,000-pound bombs perfectly on their targets. Total obliteration. Leavitt didn't deny the content of that classified report or its existence. We should note she simply said it should not have leaked to the public, which I have to say is in line with what the Trump administration has been out there saying.
Are you saying there that the United States did not see intelligence that the Supreme Leader had ordered weaponization?
That's irrelevant. I think that question being asked in the media, that's an irrelevant question.
No,
they have
that is
everything
the
they need
key
to build a
point
weapon.
in U.S. intelligence assessments. You know that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
No, it's not. That's not how intelligence is read. That's not how intelligence is used. Here's what the whole world knows. Now, forget about intelligence.
Forget about intelligence. Remember when Trump was read back what his own intelligence estimate was and said it's wrong? This morning, Trump was worked up, not at internal reports that the strikes were a limited success at best, but the news outlets that were reporting on it.
Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there, absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than anybody could even imagine. They hit late in the evening. It was dark with no moon, and they hit that target with every one of those things, and that place is gone. But when I see CNN all night long, they're trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't really as demolished as we thought. It was demolished. You take a look at the pinpricks, and you see that place is gone. And I will say, I think CNN ought to apologize to the pilots of the B-2s. I think that MSDNC ought to apologize. I think these guys really, these networks and these cable networks are real losers. You really are. You're real losers.
Now, we're in the middle of a dynamic situation with contradictory accounts coming out of the U.S. government. It is genuinely difficult to know what is going on here. I'll just be clear with you as someone whose job is to sort of consume this and synthesize it and talk to people. It's just not clear at this point. That's really where we are. But there is something that's clear. The one constant in all this is Donald Trump's ego. His words and his actions in this crisis suggest he wants to be seen as both the Churchillian wartime leader and also the great peacemaker. And so after bombing Iran and Iran retaliating and bombing our base and then Trump declaring on social media a forever ceasefire, no war will ever happen again. And then this morning, he seemed pretty angry it wasn't working. Again, warning some of our viewers, he used some choice language.
Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Do you have to respond to Iran like this?
Now, just to be clear, that there were actual casualties, there was damage, people died in those exchanges that happened after Trump had announced the ceasefire. The forever peace that he took credit for overnight on social media, it doesn't seem like it's happening. It's not even the first time in the past week he has vented about not getting recognition as the peace president.
Well, they should give me the Nobel Prize for Rwanda, and if you look, the Congo, or you could say Serbia, Kosovo, you could say a lot of them. You could say, the big one is India and Pakistan. I should have gotten it 4 or 5 times. I should get it for the, I would think the Abraham Accords would be a good one, too. They won't give me a Nobel Peace Prize because they only give it to liberals.
Yeah, well, tell that to Henry Kissinger. Just 2 days before bombing Iran, Donald Trump clamoring for a Nobel Peace Prize, which he says he should have gotten 4 or 5 times. Now, I got to say, in fairness to him, this is not a new obsession.
When Obama got it, here are the headlines. President Obama gets the Nobel Prize. Obama got it like in his first couple of weeks, and nobody knew why he got it, including him. Remember, he couldn't tell you why. He won the Nobel Peace. Oh, do you know this? Can you believe it? He won the Nobel Peace Prize. They probably will never give it to me, even what I'm doing in Korea and Idlib province and all of these places. They probably will never give it to me. You know why? Because they don't want to. I think I'm going to get a Nobel Prize for a lot of things if they gave it out fairly, which they don't.
In fact, this week, the MAGA right went out demanding Trump get a prize for a strike that, again, nobody's sure achieved its objective, and a ceasefire that nobody's sure really exists or will hold.
I think we're going to see the fruits of this decision tonight play out for many, many years to come. And if the Nobel Peace Prize were worth anything anymore, I would say the president certainly deserves one.
President Trump is going to win the Nobel Peace Prize, no doubt. Rather than World War III, we may get more peace. And rather than 34 felony counts, President Trump may end up with 34 Nobel Peace Prizes.
Now, the reason we're showing you all this is because there's sort of a consistent theme here, sort of key to understanding what we're seeing. It's a dynamic that we've seen in other Trump-caused crises. Do you remember the way that he risked nuclear war with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un in his first term? This has all been kind of memory hold, but it was a huge deal. Do you remember Trump threatening fire and fury and going off half-cocked on social media? And then doing a 180, became the first president to eagerly meet with Kim and subsequently bragged about the love letters between them. And in the end, nothing really changed. North Koreans are still under sanctions. They still have nuclear weapons. Trump's fire and fury and then his pivot as big peacemaker, it was all basically content. It was an episode in the show. And you could see it in the way Trump campaigned on ending the wars in Ukraine and Gaza, saying they never happened on his watch. He'd get them solved on day one. Instead, on Ukraine, he had a disastrous, embarrassing meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and then basically just lost interest after giving it a week of effort. His solution for Gaza, which he kind of just announced with Netanyahu there in the White House, was a plan to essentially ethnically cleanse it to turn it into a luxury development. That's gone nowhere so far, thankfully. He also reportedly told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu not to bomb Iran. That failed. Then he ordered American bombs and seems furious that his mere involvement has not solved Middle East peace. Statesmanship and diplomacy take a lot of hard work. Takes more than a few hours or a few minutes of watching TV to understand the stakes and the stakeholders. Trump talks about every conflict kind of the same, about these warring parties like schoolyard brawlers or the subject of 1,000-year enmities. And if it takes more than a minute and a minimum of effort to get them separated, he just loses interest. He looks for the next opportunity for glory. And that's why we are here. But again, it's not a show. It's very real. Actual war, actual people dying, a dangerous moment of confusion and uncertainty about what exactly comes next.